Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. So the Democrats are in total free fall. They're panicking, they're losing, they're even going through civil war because no matter what they do, they're just being exposed more and more every single day. From Doge, the Trump administration, and the way that they are reacting, the Democrats are ready to shut down the government just so that Doge stops exposing their waste, fraud, and abuse. On top of that, Trump, the president of peace, has got both sides of the Ukraine-Russia conflict to agree to a ceasefire and to start sitting down at the same table to negotiate. But on top of that, ladies and gentlemen, the radical mob storms Trump Tower in New York, and arrests are being made right now. Before we continue, do me a huge favor, smash that thumbs up button. Make sure that you are subscribed with bell notifications on, ladies and gentlemen. And leave me a comment. Where are you watching me from and how is your day going? And before we continue, just a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's live, Verity Metals. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Patriot family-owned gold, silver, and precious metal IRA firm that protect your money through physical constitutional gold and silver. They have some of the lowest premiums in the industry. They also have self-storage IRA options, which is no one has that. And they'll give you free silver on qualifying orders when you call or text 480-717-9081. Tell them Vlad sent you. Links are down below in the description. Thank you so much. Let's get right into it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to jump onto my Twitter page. We're going to watch this little piece from Fox this morning. They are talking about the Democrats, their fear, and how they are ready and willing to shut down the government.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer announcing Wednesday most Democrats in the upper chamber do not plan to support the House GOP bill to fund the government through the end of September, all but ensuring a partial government shutdown beginning at 11:59 p.m. Friday. Here's Schumer yesterday.
Republicans do not have the votes in the Senate to invoke cloture on the House CR. Our caucus is unified on a clean April 11th CR that will keep the government open and give Congress time to negotiate bipartisan legislation that can pass. I hope our Republican colleagues will join us to avoid a shutdown on Friday.
Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez taking to X, saying everyone needs to call their Dem center right now. They are starting to cave. Tell them, 1, vote no on cloture, and 2, vote no on the Republican spending bill. Don't let them pivot to reconciliation. GOP doesn't need Dem votes on that, and they know it. Top House Democrats issuing the following statement, asking the Republican colleagues to return to D.C. to pass a 1-month spending bill, saying, quote, House Republicans should get back to Washington immediately so that we can take up a short-term measure, pass it on a bipartisan basis, and avoid a Trump-inspired government shutdown. And here's President Trump yesterday in the Oval Office.
It would be great if the Democrats would do what's right for our country for a change, because they really are there. They've lost their way. They've lost their way.
So a government shutdown looms, not quite the March Madness we're anticipating, guys.
Yeah, a good way to put it.
So think about this, ladies and gentlemen. The last 4 years, when we got close to government shutdowns, the Democrats screamed, oh, you don't care about people. You don't care about the, federal employees that won't get a paycheck, the military, the veterans, the people on government assistance. How are they going to pay their bills? That's what we heard from the radical left when Democrats were in control of the White House. Now that it's Donald Trump, the same people are willing to shut down the government. They are willing to shut down our government and ignore all those people that they told us they care so much about. Why? Well, because they're not getting everything they want. This is the first spending bill where Trump is like, this is a good spending bill. This is going to keep the wheels rolling. We're going to keep, the MAGA agenda moving forward fast. But the Democrats are not going to be getting everything they wanted. Here is Chuck Schumer on the floor earlier talking about this. Listen.
Mr. President,
the Democratic leader.
Funding the government should be a bipartisan effort, but Republicans chose a partisan path
By the way, let me remind all you viewers, the first 2 years of Joe Biden's presidency, nothing was bipartisan. Everything was partisan. Because the Democrats controlled the House, the Senate, and the White House, there was nothing that they worked with the Republicans on. Not a single piece of legislation, not a single law, not a single spending bill. Everything was only and completely and 100% the way the Democrats wanted it. Why? Because they had the majority in all 3 places.
Drafting their continuing resolution without any input from congressional Democrats. Because of that, Republicans do not have the votes in the Senate to invoke cloture on the House CR. Our caucus is unified on a clean April 11th CR that will keep the government open and give Congress time to negotiate bipartisan legislation that can pass. We should, Mr. President.
So you see that, ladies and gentlemen. Just because they're not getting what they wanted, they want, they're ready to shut the government down. But let's continue. I mentioned that the Trump Towers are being violently occupied by liberal leftists. Let's watch some clips. This is just moments ago, Trump Tower in New York. I'm going to pull up an article that's got more videos right here. Justin, radical mob storms Trump Tower. Arrests are being made. Check this out.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox as we continue to follow this break. All right, so it does appear that there is no audio on this, but as you can see, there is a police presence inside. And here's what we do know as of right now. Demonstrators from a Jewish group are filling the lobby of Trump Tower to denounce the immigration arrest of a Columbia University activist who helped lead student protests on the campus against Israel's war in Gaza. The Jewish Voice for Peace protesters are wearing red shirts, as you can see, and it says, quote, Jews say stop arming Israel. They're also carrying banners reading, and then really quickly.
Why you're here today? I'm here because my grandparents were Holocaust survivors, and growing up I was always told about their experience in the Holocaust and my family that died in the Warsaw Ghetto.
So these are like Jewish students that are pro-Hamas? That's crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move forward. I've been covering this story for the last 2 days, and I want to wrap this live update with this. President Trump responds to growing Biden autopen scandal. As we all know, right? I think, and I showed you, where's this video? Watch this video. This is different legislations and pardons, but it's the same signature. Look. See that, ladies and gentlemen? Same signature. And here's Trump just moments ago discussing this.
Take a look at he signs by autopen. Who was signing all this stuff by autopen? Who would think you signed important documents by autopen? You know, these are major documents you're signing. You're proud to sign them. You have your signature on something. In 300 years, they say, oh, look, can you imagine? Everything was signed by autopen, almost everything. Nobody's ever heard of such a thing. So, should have never happened.
See that, ladies and gentlemen? It's going to be investigated. It's all going to get looked at. It's all going to get exposed. This is all going to, come to the surface. And we're going to find out who really controlled the presidency. He who controlled the pen controlled the presidency. See, there is a great saying that says, follow the money. Well, I say follow the pen. And last, ladies and gentlemen, but certainly not least, President Donald Trump, the president of peace, the president of life, the president of prosperity, the president of getting along with the world. We love President Trump. Here's Putin reacting to the peace deal.
As for readiness of Ukraine for the ceasefire, I'll tell you my estimation of this. But first of all, I would like to thank the President of the United States for paying so much attention to regulating the conflict in Ukraine. Of course, we all have lots of current issues to deal with, and the chairman of China and the Prime Minister of India, heads of states of Brazil and South Africa, they are dealing with this issue and they're paying a lot of attention to this. And we're grateful for this. And we're hoping that their activity, we understand that their activity is aimed at reducing loss of human life in the conflict. Secondly, we agree with the proposals for the ceasefire, but our position is based on the assumption that the ceasefire would lead to a long-term peace, something that would remove the initial reasons for the crisis. As for the readiness of Ukraine to ceasefire, there's a meeting between Americans and Ukrainians in Saudi Arabia, and it looks like a decision that is taken by Ukrainian side under American pressure. In reality, I am completely convinced that Ukraine had to ask Ukrainians, ask Americans, insist on this, based on the situation on the ground.
So, the president of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, is thanking the president of the United States, Donald Trump, for wanting to end the war. He says, we want peace, but we want long-standing peace, and they're ready to take the 30-day peace deal. Another thing, from what I know, Trump's team just flew into Moscow hours ago to have Russia sign what Ukraine and the Americans have already signed, and that is a 30-day peace deal. I'm shocked. I'm going to wrap it up with this, but I am shocked that Vladimir Putin took the 30-day ceasefire. The Kursk front, where the Ukrainians went into Russian territory about 9 months ago, they're surrounded. 90% have either fled. I mean, they're just a couple miles in. They kicked them all out. The front line everywhere else in Donbass, the Ukrainian side is collapsing. They are losing people in numbers that, I mean, oh my goodness. And Ukraine is at a very, very bad position. I don't know if I was in Vladimir Putin's position, if I would actually take this 30-day ceasefire and give the enemy a chance to regroup and, arm the front lines. Because knowing Zelensky, that's what he's probably going to do. He's probably going to use this 30-day ceasefire for his benefit and just to, puff up the Ukrainian military. But ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, we will see. Peace is on the horizon. Prosperity is on the horizon. America is rising again. With that being said, let me ask you one more time from the bottom of my heart, give the video a thumbs up, interact with the video. That helps with the algorithm. I appreciate you guys. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe. God bless you. I'll see you soon.